Okay, so I just first can I say I want to tell you something.
Okay. Wait, you want me to?
I want to give you your flowers. You are an amazing woman.
Oh,
You're
thank you.
beautiful. You're kind, you're sweet, you're caring, and I am so thrilled to have been part of Grandma's Secrets. It's just
Oh,
that was
wow.
very powerful. It's different. Something that
So,
we definitely need going into this new age that we're going into because a lot of the traditional things are going to be a thing of the past. And
mhm.
we gotta, we're gonna need that. We're gonna need to look back and just remember who we are and what was part of our life because a lot of it is gonna be not. I mean, some of us are gonna be able to keep it, because we're gonna keep that traditional way of life, but a lot of it is gonna be kind of fuzzy, and it's just gonna remind us not to forget, where we come from, what we
For
did, stuff
real.
like that.
For
Yeah.
real. For real. Like that piece that you put in the book, the
Mm-hmm.
sacred moral codes of femininity. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
please. I want you to explain that.
Yeah. So, I think that's where a lot of it has started with women not really having a moral code. I watched that growing up, and I
Yes.
and I think that's where women kind of lost their femininity in an aspect, not understanding each other, not understanding our rightful place in the divine feminine. And there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with that. I think that the divine feminine has been sheltered because we have been kind of in the back door, not because of men, just in society in general as a place that women should be. And so I think we've lost and we've never knew that moral compass and code that we supposed to have as matriarchs
Mhm. Mhm.
and how we relate to each other as women and how important that is and our gifts that we have that is beyond what we've been taught.
Yes. And it's funny
Yeah.
because like you say, the moral codes, there's certain things like like in other countries, like in India and like in like Saudi Arabia, all over the world, little
Mm-hmm.
girls are taught like from the age of 5 how to conduct themselves. They're like taught how to treat their husbands, how to, like even how to be in bed. It's kind of, I think some stuff
Mm-hmm.
is a little too far, but
Oh yeah, yeah. It's okay. It's their culture. Yeah.
yeah, but it's like especially as Afro Americans, this we
Mm-hmm.
have nothing. We have no like nothing is being passed down. Like some people, teach their daughters certain things, but as in general, as a whole, a lot of us are
Mm-hmm.
out here are just dumb as we can be, and we make the biggest mistakes because we have no culture of passing down knowledge anymore.
Right, right. I absolutely agree. Um, I agree. Like we don't have anything. So I think it's like everybody's just trying to find themselves and they just trying to put together what they think is,
Yes.
what is a culture for us, and we don't have it, and women never had it. But you're right. When you go to like other countries,
Mm-hmm.
they have principles set in place. They have
Yes.
relationships already set in place that they have everything set up. We don't have that because we're just divided, and honestly I've come to realize I feel like we're naturally divided. I feel
It's
like
it.
we have it's a very natural division. It's because it's hard to connect. It's hard to connect with, and
Yeah.
especially for women, like we don't really have that. We don't have it. I mean, I ain't gonna say I don't have it, but some
Yeah.
women just
Yeah.
don't have it.
So
They don't have, they
it's
don't have that
true.
connection. So, yeah,
Yes.
that's
It's
very interesting.
sad because like with some people I've noticed well I've talked to a lot of people recently. I didn't know how many people have been adopted. And so not having that connection with their biological mother, grandmother, aunts. And it's like, like I said, that especially that mitochondrial DNA, when you got it,
Hmm.
you can't connect with it because you don't have your mother or whatever. It's like stuff is the ball is just being dropped. It's being dropped all over the place. And so we go into like puberty, then we go into relationships with this ignorance. I mean, it's just like a
Right.
serious ignorance. And now there's this whole thing where women are like, I hate the black man. I'm like,
Mm,
how can you hate you come from a black man? You got black
mm.
You are birthing sons. So if you hate
Mm-hmm.
black men, you're automatically hating your son.
Mm-hmm.
Like I keep looking like, how did we even get here? How did we get here where we are so divided as a people? And we're like, man, relationships,
Yeah.
they're a
I
joke.
think I'm sorry. I think that I'm me personally, I'm kind of over the slavery narrative of
Yes.
that we've been divided at slavery. I think
Mm-mm,
this is
that's
something
no.
that's way before slavery time. This
Yes,
is definitely took a long time because now it's coded in our DNA.
it is.
So it's this strong hatred between
Mm-hmm.
black men and black women. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, where is the disconnect? Like, what
Yes,
happened where the love and the connection was lost?
I know.
And it makes me wonder, was there ever really a strong foundation? Were
Mm-hmm.
they together out of survival? Or were they ever together out of love? Because a lot of relationships is based
Wow.
on survival.
Yeah,
A
that's
lot of
true.
relationships is based on survival and it's not out of love.
Wow.
And that's how I think it's been. And so when they mature in themselves and they were like, you know what, I don't even like this person I'm with. Why am I
Oh
with this
no.
person? I'm not. Yeah, you know, like I've spent 20 years. I mean, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
the Judge Mathis and his wife,
Yes.
you
Mm-hmm.
you uh you may get to a certain age, like, oh my God, I spent 40 years and
Yeah.
this is not my soul connection. People never
Wow.
really find their soul connection
And
and
see,
they
that's the
just look for
problem.
something. Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. Like, okay, so how do we find our soul connection? Like, a lot of people, we're always, especially, I hate to say this because, as a woman, I'm gonna tell the truth. Yes, I have problems with like personal responsibility.
Right.
And,
Okay. Yeah.
like, we just do. We know that.
Yeah.
Like, we make all these mistakes in our life and then we always want to blame it on somebody else instead of doing the
Mm,
self work. And when we're like in this, it's your fault, it's my mother's fault, it's this person's fault, it's that person's fault. We can't never
right.
heal and grow. So if you don't like do the self work to get to a better place, you can't attract the right person to you. So
Mm,
this one thing, like I'm on this mission right now. I'm on a mission of doing the self work and breaking this like this cycle that I have seen
mm,
my grandmother, mother, my aunts is it's like this bloodline curse pretty much. And I'm like,
mm,
I keep seeing it repeating in myself. And I'm like, this gotta stop. This has
right.
got to stop. And it's difficult to break it, but it's like you have to be on it like day and night, like on it, like wake up thinking about, okay, what am I gonna do different? How am I gonna do this different? Because like I said, the divide that's happening, it's like we're gonna end up not having our race anymore. Like we're gonna be gone. These people, the Afro American people,
Yeah.
we're gonna be extinct if we don't straighten up.
Yes, absolutely. But I want to go back a little bit. Can you give me like an example what you were saying far as um just like a brief of like kind of what are you struggling with that was kind of generational for you? So then I can kind of grasp and I can kind
So
of think of
okay,
something myself.
so for me, like my mother, my aunts, married and divorced, can't stay in a
Okay.
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, didn't really raise their children very well either. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, what are we doing that most Afro-American women, I mean, literally the majority of us don't even ever get married, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Then when we
Mm-hmm.
get in like relationships, like if you could ask like women who like have been married and now they're divorced, I mean, you see it on the internet over and over again. If you ask them, okay, who filed for divorce, it's always the woman. Like,
Right.
why? Why are we doing this? Why are we tearing our
Mm.
own families up?
Mm. Mm. That's interesting. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's a very tough one. I'm gonna go back to the trauma, like for my mother and I mean my grandmothers and my
Mm-hmm.
mom, with men. I didn't see the women and the matriarchs in my family have stable marriages or
Okay.
loving or true romance, true
Yeah.
connection, like a divine connection. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
see that.
I
But
didn't either.
I vowed for myself that I am going to break that.
Yes.
And my younger years in my first marriage, as I start to mature, I was like, you know what? This is not for me. I'm here for
Hmm.
survival.
Yeah.
I was young. I was looking for a way out of the house. I had a
Uh,
baby. So this
yeah.
guy comes along and it's like he's saving the day. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm grown. I can leave. But
Wow.
I'm really matured and I'm like, no, this is not
Hmm.
love. This was a
Yeah.
survival. So I seen my mother and my grandmothers, they do that.
Hmm.
Good women,
Yes. Yes.
great, beautiful, strong, powerful women, but
Hmm.
they never attracted someone who's seen that essence in them. And I think to me, I don't want to man bash because I think it's just a connection. I
Yeah.
think that we women don't seek out a true connection. They
Yeah.
seek out of proving that I can get a man. I can have
Yeah.
a man. I got a
Wow.
man. But what kind of man
Wow.
do you have? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What kind of man
Exactly.
do you really have? So I see that because I deal with women and they're not focused on the internal essence of that man.
Yes.
And they're looking at, oh girl, he gotta be 6'2". Oh girl,
Got a six
he
figures, 6 feet, six
six
figures.
figures. He got to do this for me and that for me. But
Yes.
what is his morality as a man? And his
Exactly.
soul, what is his soul signature? So, and
Exactly.
then let's not even get into mainstream religion, how they have put relationships together. I know people who are in relationships because of the church.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
is the church. Yeah, the church will really do. And it's like, religion or, your parents want you to be with this kind of
Mm-hmm.
man or, seeing something on TV. And now
Mm-hmm.
it's like, it's like, that's why I keep talking about doing the self work, like going internal, doing your, like working on self.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not balanced, what do you think you're gonna attract to yourself? You know?
Right.
And
Right.
then, like I said, as women, yes, we don't accept responsibility, and we have this thing where we feel so privileged. Like there's women, like on different dating shows and all this stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
they got like three baby daddies and all this stuff, and they still talking about they need a six-figure man.
Thank you. Make right, right,
uh, yeah. So like, whoa. Let's back this up. Let's come
right,
back to
right.
reality because you can't like have three different baby daddies and get this man who's a millionaire or whatever and expect him to
Mm-hmm.
want to take care of all these babies that ain't his. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what is going on in the brains? Is it all just, what we see on the internet? What is happening that's making women think that this is normal and that their brains can even move that way, you know?
Yeah, I think it's social media. I
I
think that women feel like they have options because they're connected to so many people around the world. So they can put up a facade online
mm-hmm,
and they feel like they can attract what they want. So, before we really hit, the mainstream social
mm-hmm,
media, it was courting the old way,
yes,
calling, meet up, you
mm-hmm,
had more of an interaction. Now it's more of I gotta show this person that I can have this person and I just want a man so I can travel with them, eat with them.
mm-hmm.
They're not really soul searching. They're really not.
I
And
know.
and you're right, that the high expectations that they have is
Mm-hmm.
they're delusional.
It's
They have
very.
a a very high sense of delusion, and I think they feel like they have options. And
Mm-hmm.
for Black women, I'm telling you, we don't have that.
I know.
We don't have that options. I know more single Black women than I know Black women who are in committed
Committed
relationships.
relationships, exactly, and
Yeah.
that's what's so sad because we don't know who we are anymore, and so we are
Mm-mm.
acting crazy. Like, just, I mean, my eyes be popping out my head all the time because I'm like, why are Black women doing the things that they're doing? Walking down
Mm-hmm.
the street, going to job interviews with bonnets on their heads, and
Mm-hmm.
um, like like I said, having 3, 4 baby daddies and thinking that's normal and jumping from man to man to man. And it's like, one, like, take a step back. Your children are watching you.
Mm-hmm.
What example are you leaving for your children? And it's sad because, like, okay, I'm writing Grandma's Secrets. And
Right.
it's to bring out the good stuff, but it's also to awaken us to the negative things that we've been doing for generations.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've got a whole section called Grandma's Dark Secrets. And in Grandma's Dark Secrets, I'm putting in the things that have been the things that have been causing these curses. Like, some of the older mothers, like our mothers or our grandmothers, sometimes they would teach stuff that ain't right. You shouldn't be teaching that. Like teaching a girl, hey, you need to get this man to marry you because what if he dies? That one I've been hearing a lot. Like, women get in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship, like, my name should be on. I just saw a video. This one was like, we've been married 30 days. Why didn't you put me like on the house, put my name on the house, put my name on the car? And she's like, what if you die? And it's like, I heard that in my life also. Like, you need to get married because what if that man dies? And it's these things that, like I said, it's stuff that's passed down, but some of that stuff ain't right.
Right, right, right,
It's
right.
not, and it causes confusion in the brain. And like when I
Mm.
see these girls online who are doing these things, I'm like, what were they taught? Like, what got them there?
Mm.
Was it their mother? Was it their grandmother? Or was it them rebelling against their mother and grandmother?
I'm gonna say I think it's the need to feel loved. I think a lot of women haven't really they haven't felt what love is. So
Mm-hmm.
they are going out seeking attention,
Yeah.
validation, because they haven't had the security of love.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I see. That's what I pick up is the need, the lack of not having love,
Yes.
the lack of not having that divine feminine energy around them to
Mm-hmm.
guide them, because a lot of the women that they come from was
Mm-hmm.
lacking love and abuse,
Exactly. Exactly.
and it's a lot of trauma. It's a lot of trauma. So now, fast
Mm-hmm.
forward to the times we're in now, this is the outcome that we get. And I just think the women now are looking for, they want a companionship, but
Mm-hmm.
they looking for it in the wrong aspects.
Yes.
And in the
Exactly.
wrong aspects of what a genuine relationship is. And it's deeper than being physical. It's
Mm-hmm.
deeper than,
Yes.
because I don't know. I just see that. I see it deeper than, it's deeper than physical,
It
because you
has
have
to
to,
be.
it has to be. I mean, because
Mm-hmm.
if you rely on simply being physical with someone,
Mm-hmm.
anything can happen. And then so
Yes.
you're not gonna love that person no more. You're not gonna be committed anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's
Exactly.
like one of the things, like they just lost at finding their way. And like you said, with a lot of these shows and stuff, they're just out there like, oh, I need to be noticed. I need to be seen. I want to find somebody. I need this guy to
Mm-hmm.
recognize me. I'm kind of lost with it. I guess I'm still, even though I have like a more of a, I'm gonna say modern mindset,
Mm-hmm.
because I am like an older millennial, but I'm
Yes.
still attached to tradition in a sense, because
Yes.
tradition it saved me in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I want to be committed, and I
Yes.
always have. I
Yes.
want companionship. I want love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was willing to fight for it and be patient
Mm-hmm.
for it.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Most of the time, that sense of loneliness, and like I really do believe social media has brought a lot of this up because
Mhm.
everyone's always looking for likes, 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 likes. And
Yeah.
so that rolls down into relationship where like, but it's like, where's the connection? Like love,
Right. Where's
not
the
just
connection?
likes,
Right.
Yeah. And like you said,
Hmm.
patience. Patience is a big thing because people don't like to be alone for too long. They have no patience. They want to jump. I need to be in a relationship. What about a relationship with yourself first? Do you even know
Mm.
what you want? Do you know what you're looking for? Because if you don't have like something like in your mind of what you are expecting out of a relationship and what you want out of a relationship, you'll fall for anything. And then
Mm,
scientifically proven, when women are like ovulating, whatever they're like experiencing during ovulation, it goes deeper into their subconscious. So women keep wondering, why do I keep finding these same kind of men? It's because you got with one of them while you were ovulating and it kind of set a pattern, this mold in your brain, and you keep doing the same thing.
right,
So
right.
the detox that women must go through, like after you've been in a relationship and you've like absorbed this negative energy, you've been mentally, physically, or spiritually abused in this relationship, you do have to detox. You can't just jump right into another relationship. You
Yep.
can't. And no one's teaching this
I know so
stuff.
many people who have got out of a marriage and 3 weeks later they was already with somebody talking about marrying them. I've seen it, and you're
Oh
absolutely right. The
no.
fear of being lonely. People
Mm-mm,
really don't like to be alone, but
mm-mm.
instead of them loving themselves or loving on their children and finding
Yes.
themselves and making having a stability around them
Yes.
within themselves, they don't want that. So that
Mm-mm,
brings me back to with my divorce when I was 25 years old.
mm-hmm.
I spent a year alone.
Yes. Yes.
I spent a year alone. Of course, I had people I talked to, and I kept conversation, but I didn't put myself in a situation like, oh, I'm looking for somebody. I want to be in a relationship. This is what I
Mm-hmm.
want. I didn't do that. I needed
Yes.
that time to enjoy me because honestly, I had been locked down from 16.
Mm.
I've been in committed relationships since the
Uh-huh.
time I was 16 when I met my first husband
Yeah.
up until now being married.
Okay.
So I spent most of my time in a committed relationship. So
Yeah.
yes, if you leave one, take that time. Take a
Yes.
year, 2, 3 years, and just soul
Yes.
search and get inside whatever your spiritual compass is that guides you.
Yes.
Get in tune with that
Yes.
and not
Yes. You got to.
jump in bed with the next person and you harboring more spirits from somebody else.
Spirits, the spirits for real. And like,
Yeah.
you're married, you're a married woman, I'm a married woman. And I feel like it is important that we get this information out to teach younger women, like, the lessons that we've learned.
But yeah, yeah,
That's,
absolutely. So I agree. Taking that
yeah,
time is very
taking
important.
the
And what you said,
time.
this information needs to be out there.
It is. And like, like I said, those of us who are older and have gone through it, I feel like it's important that we share the knowledge because, girls, teenagers, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, they need to hear from women who are married and are still married what we went through, how we got here, and like how to help themselves to be a better woman first so that they can be a better
Mm-hmm.
wife and mother. So
Right.
it's like, because I know it's like we've all made mistakes, but like one, like we said, taking the time first, but doing the self work, and we keep bringing that up, looking deep within,
Right.
finding out where we have picked up these patterns of self destruction and really
Mm.
to eliminate that. Because when you go into a relationship with your self destructive behaviors, um, the relationship, the marriage is gonna be turmoil. It's gonna be hard. And then if you bring children into it, it's gonna fall on them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
um, this is this is like the biggest thing to me because I have this book, it's called Fascinating Womanhood. This book was written
Okay.
like back in the 60s, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
the book was actually, it became a book that girls had to study to graduate. And Fascinating Womanhood teaches girls about loving self first and how to be in a relationship, how to have a successful marriage, and how to raise children. And so for a while that kind of stuff was taught over here. I don't know why it stopped, where there's like
Mm-hmm.
absolutely nothing. So yeah, it's like how do we get all this
Wow.
back, you know? And I feel like
Wow.
just talking to women and having women share their own personal experiences and their personal lessons. That's all we can do for right now.
Right. When you do talk to women that say that they have been divorced or getting out of a long-term relationship, do they ever tell you what was the reasons?
Um, Everybody has different reasons, but a lot of times, like I said, women were always pointing the finger. It's him, it's him, it's him. No,
Hmm.
I don't think so. It takes two. Like when you're in a committed relationship, you're supposed to work together. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
he has his flaws, you have your flaws. But did y'all try to help each other? Did y'all talk about
Mm.
it? You know, older people always talk about you should never go to bed angry. How many of us still go to bed angry and don't really work? We just kind of sweep our problems up under the rug instead of really working on
Right. Hmm. I can see that.
it.
I can
Mhm,
see that. But I
mhm,
think that a lot of people are just not compatible. I do. I think that people need to get readings done. They need to get
mhm,
birth charts done. They need to find their soul connection. I
mhm.
do. I think there are people who are together that shouldn't be together. And
Wow.
I think their soul is telling them that, and they stick in it for the children
Mm,
or financial reasons, or
yeah.
sometimes they escape. But I think people get in committed relationships and they're not connected. I lived it, so I know. And it's hard. You try to stay in it. You do. You try to be optimistic
Yeah.
about it. But when there's so much happening, you it doesn't resonate with you.
Yes.
So when you meet someone and it's pure and you like, I can feel it, and it
Hmm.
may be some little discrepancies
Yeah.
because there's nothing that's 100%. You know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
But you'll feel it deep in your soul and you'll know. But I think a lot of people are just not compatible. We have not been set up like you said, like India. A lot of them do birth charts.
Yes, they
Um,
do.
they
They
do
do.
birth charts to connect the man and the woman to make sure
Yeah.
they're in alignment with each other. And I think that's very important. You need to
It
know
is.
because that's your personality, that's your soul's blueprint. So you
Wow.
need to know if those energies are going to be able to connect for long term. It might be temporary, but it
Yeah.
could be forever for some. So you
Yeah.
need to know that. So I think that
Yeah.
plays a major factor.
It does. It does. And that's what, that's one thing that I talk to, women about because like women, like they're so quick to like jump into bed or jump into a relationship. And I'm like, okay, you slow down
Hmm.
because like
Hmm.
there's certain things that you should even know before you have a child. Like
Hmm.
what if like mental illness runs in their bloodline? What if, birth defects runs in their bloodline? You just
Hmm.
jump in bed with this person, get pregnant, you ain't gonna know until the baby's born. It's too late. There's certain things you need to do research. You need to meet mothers, meet fathers, take time. The whole courting thing's been thrown out the window. People don't court, people don't date, they don't meet each other's parents before they get in a relationship, they don't meet each other's parents before they get married, they meet parents either at the wedding or later. Two babies
Hmm.
later, oh, I'm finally meeting his mother. Don't do that. You got to
Hmm.
slow down. It's like take the time. Like when you go and you buy a car, don't you go and do the research?
Right, right. Exactly. Don't you
You
test
go to
drive it and
test.
look at pull up the
You gotta lift up the hood, look in the end.
yeah,
Yes,
pull the Carfax report. I couldn't think. Don't you pull the
exactly. Yeah,
Carfax report online
Carfax.
to see how many accidents this car been in?
Exactly.
What condition, who had it, what state. So yes, you definitely need to do that when you are dealing with these families that you're about to have a baby with. These families, what type of bloodline and what ancestor might be reincarnating from this family?
For real, for real, for real.
You need to know their past. You need to go back and say, tell me about your family. What kind of history? Was there abuse? Was anybody on drugs? Are there pedophiles, child molesters
Pedophiles,
in your
exactly.
family. You need to know because even that be passed down in the DNA too.
It is. It
It
is.
sometimes people don't even be touched. It's just a genetic coding of being a
Yeah.
pedophile.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It
saying? So
can't
you
be good.
right.
Men and women need to do that because, like some women, prostitution has been passed down through the blood too.
Yes.
It has. And it's like, how you gonna know? You're gonna
Right.
find out
Yeah.
later why can't this girl keep her legs closed? She's having sex
Mm.
friend in the you didn't go and do the research.
Right, right, right. And I do, and I don't know if I'm sure you do it with your children, but I watch my children and
Mm-hmm.
I see who they are kind of connecting with from my
Yes.
ancestors or people, my family that is living. I'm like, you got to kind of see, are they inheriting some of those
Yes.
aspects
Yes.
of people in your family? And then especially when they get older and their personalities change, you be like,
Exactly.
where did
Exactly.
this come from? I didn't raise you like this. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's somebody else. So yeah, you have to be careful who you bringing important into this world because you don't know
Exactly.
what ancestor or being
I
that
know.
you are
For real.
bringing to your womb.
For real.
It's
For
very
real.
that's a part that a lot of women don't want to talk about is the type
Mm-mm.
of being they're bringing in their portal.
Yes, exactly. Because I was speaking with this one sister, and she said, every child you give birth to ain't your child. And I was like,
Mm,
what?
mm, mm, mm. I can
That
see
was
that.
deep. That was
That's deep.
deep. I was like, whoa.
Yep. And
Literally
you
made
see
me
that
sit down.
you see that because it be a disconnect.
It
And when
is.
they're children, they're vulnerable. They're in a different state. As
Mm-hmm.
they mature and their soul starts to birth, that's
Yes.
when the trauma and the anger and the resentment and the connection.
Yes.
That connection, I
Yes.
was telling you, we don't connect, and you're my child. Wow.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it definitely, yeah, yes, and it can happen. It happens a lot. Actually, I'm
Yes.
hearing it more often than I've ever heard,
Mm.
especially with mothers and daughters. I have,
Oh.
it's deep. It's
Yeah.
very deep.
It
You know,
is. You know my story. The
yes,
things I've
yes,
been
I
through.
do.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, like how, why? Why? Why would your own child do this? And then it's so funny because I had women contacting me and telling me their stories. Like, oh,
Mm,
sis, I saw your story. Let me tell you. This one woman told me her daughter, be hanging out with rappers in California. And she literally told her mother to her face, if the Illuminati ever comes to me, I'm sacrificing you. She told that to her
wow,
own mother. I know. And I'm
wow.
like, oh, how could she even fix her lips to say that? Like,
Mm.
real? Like,
Yeah, but she actually meant that
she
because of the
did.
fame, the connections, they're willing to sacrifice. Just she doesn't have a connection with her.
I
She
know.
don't care. She don't love her. There's nothing there. It's a dead connection.
It is. It is. And it's so sad. And it's like, and then it's like, sometimes, like we was talking about with relationships, like sometimes you can actually be with your true soulmate, but because of all the
Mm,
trauma,
mm,
you don't know it. And it's like you start
mm.
like reliving the trauma and treating your mate how you were treated through the trauma. And it's like all this
Right,
confusion can like, like come up a lot. And like
right.
people, and then I've seen it happen. People were married and they got a divorce, and then they'd be like, dang, that was the one.
And they end up getting back together, remarrying again.
Yeah,
I've
some of
seen
them
that a
do,
lot
yes.
too. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh, that is so sweet. I
It
like
is.
that. That's beautiful.
It
And you
is.
know what it is? It's the birthing process. See,
Yes.
sometimes we might not be ready right then. It was a
Ooh.
disconnect, and they
Yeah,
was able to come back and connect. It's all divine timing.
it is.
Everything is built on time. Everything that we do is
Mhm.
divine timing. So they experienced each other in so probably some of the darkest times, but they
Oh
got by
yeah.
themselves, found
Hmm.
more themselves, and say, you know what,
Yep.
it's a person that I really love, and they reconnected and remarried. I've seen that quite often.
Yes, I know. I know people who've done that, and I'm like, whoa. I mean, sometimes it'd be like 20, 30 years later, and they got back together. I go,
Yep.
whoa, that is so powerful. It is. And it's
Yeah.
like, there's certain things, like when you're in a relationship and you're
Mhm.
having these traumas and these things and you don't talk about it, it starts to show up. There's certain things like when we was talking about compatibility,
Mm.
compatibility, and like some people like you got this person who likes to cuddle after sex when this person doesn't, and it's
Mm.
like yeah, there's certain people like don't touch me, I don't want to be
Oh yeah,
touched,
I know.
and I'm
Yes.
like how, and then you got the thing like in their sleep when people are asleep. Some people like to be touched when they're asleep, some people don't. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like this kind of thing that shows you like whether it is from trauma or not, there's an issue when people don't want to
Mm.
be touched in their sleep, or they have that thing where they don't want to cuddle after sex. And it's
Right.
like, do people just they don't sit down, they don't talk about it, they don't get deep, like let's go deep and find out what is really the cause of this. Is it because we're not compatible, or is it because trauma, like you pissed me off and we haven't
Right.
healed from when you pissed me off? These things need to be talked about, but like I said, most people sweep it right up under the rug and they don't want to talk about it.
You're absolutely right. Me, I this is gonna kind of tie into what you said. I've told people that's in a relationship, couples, stop
Hmm.
going to therapists and y'all be there. Y'all are the
Yes.
therapist. You are the
Yes.
therapist for your relationship. Nobody, no, there's no counselor, no therapist that can
No.
heal your marriage like you
Uh-uh.
two.
Nope,
Like
there's
you
not.
two.
That I'm
These
so
people
happy
on
you
the
said that.
these people on the outside, they don't know. You're just
Mhm.
telling them your
Yes.
side. He's telling them his side, but nobody knows the true intentions of that
Exactly.
relationship besides you and that person. And if y'all can get
Yes.
together and minister the relationship and
Wow.
and be therapeutic with each other and lay
Yes.
it all out, you will find that it will be more of an increase of
Yes.
compatibility, people
Yes.
connecting, and long
Mhm.
lasting relationships. But nobody wants to face the mirror.
No, I know. Who's gonna sit there and talk? Well, let me tell you my problems. No, because you
Right.
got to start with your own problems. Like I said, if you're always pointing a finger, nothing's really going to get resolved because you're just both going to keep pointing a finger. Well, you did this. Well, you did that. You did this.
Right.
It's going to keep going back and forth. But when you start with self and be like, okay, I personally, I've had this problem since I was a child. Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about it. And maybe you can help me with it.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are like, that's what self work again. Doing the self work instead of blaming other people all the time.
And bringing other people into your relationship when it comes to
Oh, Lord.
therapy. And it comes
Yes.
to therapy. You don't need outside people trying
No.
to be therapists for your relationship. Nobody's
No.
going to be able to teach you like each
Yes.
other. That's why
Yes.
it's a masculine and feminine combination. You
Exactly.
know, so and
Exactly.
even if whatever other connection it is,
Yeah.
you come together and you be
Yes.
able to talk it out, just like me and my spouse. I'm woman
Hmm.
enough to say, baby, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm
That's good.
absolutely sorry. I was
Yes.
wrong. I
Hmm.
shouldn't have done that.
Yep.
And what's the solution so we don't have to cross this path again? And he'll
Yes.
say, yeah, but baby, I see where I was wrong too.
We'll
Let me
see.
let's so that's your trigger and this is mine. So let's don't do that. Okay, baby,
Exactly.
you got it.
Triggers.
The
Triggers.
triggers, yes, the triggers. So once
Yeah.
we do that, we'll talk. We're like, baby, why did we just do that?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't have did that. I triggered you. I know. And he was like, you know what? Yes, but the way I reacted, I know that's
Yeah.
a trigger from you.
Yes.
So there are things
Wow.
that you sit and
Mm-mm.
you talk about, even with our children. I don't contact nobody to talk about nothing. I need
No.
to talk to my spouse.
No. Yes.
You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? That's between
Exactly.
me and that person. If we can't heal each other, we don't have nothing.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Whoa. That's
We don't
deep.
heal each other. We don't have nothing.
That is
Honestly, you're just
deep.
sleeping with another body in your bed. That's
Hmm.
absolutely the truth.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's deep. It's so oh
And a
that
lot of people have nothing. They are in nothingless commitments or
exactly.
relationships, not a commitment,
Exactly.
but nothingless relationships,
Yep.
and nobody wants to face the mirror. It's not all on her, it's not all on him.
It's
It's
not.
how can we come together as mature adults to talk
Exactly.
about this? And guess what? And if we come together and decide, you know what? I'm not ready. I don't want this anymore. I want some
Yeah.
time. Then that's maturity too.
Yes,
And
it
if this
is.
person is monogamous and you know that they're not
Mhm.
with you having other women, or you know
Uh-huh.
that she's not with,
Yes.
vice versa,
Yeah.
come to that person and say, you know what, I respect you enough that I want to be by myself so I can be sexually free and
Wow.
be able to do what I want to do. And later
Mm.
on, if I'm mature and if it's meant to be, we'll come back together. A lot of people don't know how to be sexually free. I'm not saying be a
Yeah.
whore or
Yeah.
sleep around. That means that you are um disciplined
Uh-huh.
and you having your options open and you're taking care of yourself.
Wow.
So a lot of people in relationships, they that are monogamous, you know,
Uh-huh.
speaking on that,
Yes.
they, they're cheating
Yes.
and they're cheating and
Mm-hmm.
then they're mad and it's like, well, just tell that person, you know what, I love
Mm-hmm.
you and I like you, but I want to be by myself
Mm. Wow.
and I need some time. I didn't find myself. I need that time to be sexually free. If that's what you got to do, if that's your sexual freedom, go
Wow.
find
Yeah.
it. Because that when a person is monogamous, that's
Mm-hmm.
their connection. That's what they're trusting you to be connected to them.
To
You know
them,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? And
Yeah,
then
that
maybe she's open for polygamy.
I know.
And then
That's
you can
something that
say,
needs to be
talk
talked
to her,
about.
that talk about that too. You never
Yes.
know what he's open. Maybe you're open as a woman and you say, you know what? I want another woman in my household. I want to have that commitment with another
Mhm.
woman. There's so many aspects to these relationships that
Yes.
people are not talking about.
Exactly. And it's called transparency. You must be transparent and be
Mm-hmm.
like open and honest about what you want, what you feel. Like it's very interesting because I was doing this online Reiki meditation.
Okay.
And after doing it, I just got this sense of peace. And
Mm-hmm.
I went to my mate and I said, "Hey, what brings you peace? I want to know, not what brings you
Yeah.
happiness, because happiness is fleeting. What
Mm-hmm.
brings your soul peace? Because I want to provide that. And I'm hoping that you want to
Mm-hmm.
provide that for me because
I
that's the
love
only
it.
way that we're going to bond and keep growing.
What
We
brings
have
you
to,
peace?
yeah, what brings you peace? Not, like I
Love
said, not
that. That's
happiness. Yeah,
beautiful. Oh God, it
that's
just got me kind of. Oh, what brings you peace? I
that's
like
the
that.
what brings you true peace, where you feel like all
Peace.
is right
Yeah.
in the world. Like,
Yeah.
woo, that's what we need to talk about.
That gave me, that is deep. That is
Mhm.
very deep. What brings you
Yes,
peace? Oh wow,
yes,
that's gonna make me kind of emotional because when you can sit down and ask another your partner that, or even
yes,
a close friend, I want
yes,
to be what brings you peace, and I want you to know
yes,
what brings me peace, so we can just
yes.
be in more
Exactly.
harmony.
Harmony, yes, and that's what's
That's something
important.
I never really thought about like
I'm
that.
telling you, it was after this Reiki class. Is her name is Ife Teo. She's on Facebook and she does these Reiki sessions every Tuesday. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna get on there.
Mm-hmm.
I went on there and it since that day, it's been just in my brain, just triggering, triggering. I need peace. I
Mm-hmm.
need peace. I want you to have peace too. So let's figure out how we're gonna make
Right.
peace and we're gonna have peace in our home and our children are gonna be peaceful. Because when it's not a peaceful home, the children are messed up. And so,
Mm.
yeah, we got to fix that.
Oh, honey, yes. Yeah. Yep. I know.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, let's talk about this thing. Let's talk about it. Peace.
Right.
Like I said, not happiness. Happiness is it's like low level stuff. Peace. What brings you peace? And if you don't know what brings you
So,
peace as a person, you're in trouble.
right.
You're in
Absolutely.
trouble.
That
Mm-hmm.
what you saying is making me go back to what I wrote for
Mm-hmm.
Grandma Secrets about
Yes.
the moral code of the divine feminine. That
Yes.
right there is it.
Mm-hmm.
tapping into those gifts like that to bring to our mate and
Yes.
say what brings you peace, though that
Yes.
wisdom that they need, that comfort, that support, that love,
Yes.
um
Exactly.
tapping into our gifts and our
Hmm.
knowledge and just
Yes.
touching them and speaking that, because what brings you peace, people do not ask,
Yes.
nobody's asking their partner what brings you peace,
That's what we
how
need to
help you
do. That
achieve
is
that.
exactly what
that
we need to
is
do.
that is very powerful. I'm really resonating with that
Hmm.
because I can be selfish. I'm human.
I know. I,
I
I
can
know.
be thinking about myself, I'm like, oh,
Yes.
whatever. I don't feel like
Hmm.
doing this. I don't feel like doing that. I've done my day's
Yes.
work. I didn't homeschool kids. I didn't do this. I didn't do
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Then my husband come home from work or whatever he's doing,
Yep.
and I want to take him my chaos. But in my mind, I need to be thinking, what brings him this peace? He's been at work.
Yes. Yep.
He's been dealing with the public. Now
Yes.
I need to, what brings him that peace? I need to know. I want to ask him.
Yes. Yes. I'm telling
I
you,
love that.
it was so deep because after I asked him that, we had this deep conversation, deep conversation,
Mhm.
and we kind of went through, some of our traumas, and
Right.
it was deep, like because I was already in the mindset of peace, so I was able to listen, and I didn't get defensive. I didn't be like, "Well, you did this." I didn't get that, and it hit me. Humility hit me like a ton of
Mm,
bricks. Be humble. And I was like, whoa. And as I was humble, I was able to listen. And it was weird. Stress, all the stress in my body went away. And I was
mm,
like, there's certain things that we've been taught, like being submissive, being humble. Oh, that makes you a
mm,
slave. It doesn't give you any power. I can tell you right now, I
mm.
experienced a sense of power that I'd never experienced before by doing that.
Wow.
I did. I was like, oh, I'm feeling something I ain't never felt before. And it's
Mm,
just
mm.
learning to not go into defense mode and want to argue and da 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 da, just listen, sit and listen, take constructive criticism in so that you can heal yourself. And by healing yourself, you can heal your partner. You can heal your mate, but you can't do it
Yeah,
if you're in this defense. Well, you did this. You can't.
absolutely.
You're never gonna get anywhere.
Right.
You're
You're
not.
absolutely right.
You gotta look at
Right.
self. You
Right.
gotta, like you said, look yourself in the mirror and be brutally honest.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Let
Mm-hmm.
in the aspect of submissiveness.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely something that women are now, as we going into our modern world and
Mm-hmm.
modern mindset,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because we're going into a new age.
Yeah.
And I think women they have seen being submissive in a different light. So
Yeah.
they feel like it's a level of them not able to be themselves.
See.
Me, I'm 100% submissive.
Uh-huh.
However,
Mm-hmm.
I have a way about me that I love my sense of freedom. So
Yes.
because my sun sign is an Aquarius, so I like
Mm-hmm.
to be detached. I like my space. I like to be able to. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like that feeling of being dominated.
Yeah.
But I'm also very submissive at the same time. So I
Yes.
think when women get to know their points of what
Yes.
is submissiveness to you, just like how you said how
Mm-hmm.
peace is, what is a level of submissive? It doesn't always mean what you think it means.
It does, and
You know
that's
what I'm
what I
saying?
had to learn. That is
Yes.
exactly what I had to learn. Because, like, in the military, everybody
Okay.
has to be submissive to someone who is a higher rank than them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
we think submissive means, oh, you ain't got no mind of your own. You ain't got this. You ain't got that's not what it means. It is
Mm-hmm.
paying attention to the order. Like, hey, the captain, sends stuff down to the next person. That person sends stuff down to the next person. If you are trying to outdo the captain and you are a grunt, you are way out of order. You know what I mean? And we
Mm-hmm.
know that in a family structure, the man is the head of the house. He just is. So as a
Mm-hmm.
wife, we know he's the head of the house, but we are his backup. We're his backbone. Know that you're
Mm-hmm.
the backbone. Know that, hey, sometimes we see things they can't see as a woman. We, because of our intuition and our connection to feeling energies, we feel energies that men don't feel. So we have to
Mm-hmm.
be able to speak up, like, baby, that don't feel right. Or even if we
Right.
have a dream or whatever, we have to be able to speak up and help him to be a better man as he's helping us to be a better woman. That's, I mean, it's yin and yang. It's like, it's not like, oh, he's up here and you're down here. No, you're equal, but you're equally doing your part. He's doing his part,
Mm-hmm.
you're doing your part. You're still here. So don't think that submission and being submissive puts you down. It doesn't. Actually, women, we are much stronger when we are being feminine. When we're being
Mm-hmm.
truly feminine, we are like, I mean, man, we got some power. We do, and
Right.
most of us don't know that. We don't know it.
That's true.
Mm-mm. Yeah, so it's all about how we translate things and the way that we think about certain words. That really is what messes
Mm-hmm.
us up. It is.
Yeah. Yep. I definitely agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, trying to think. Yeah, so even like with being submissive, how do you feel about some women who are kind of naturally dominant women, just
Mm-hmm.
based on the energies in their birth chart? Because have
Yeah.
you ever really looked in the birth chart and it say like it'll say you have more masculine than you have feminine energy, or
Yes.
somebody may have more
Yes.
feminine and they have more
Mm-hmm.
masculine energy. So there
Yes.
are some women who are naturally dominant, but that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that should overshadow the man that you're with and that
Yes.
you are over him, or however,
Mm-hmm.
it still gives that
Yes.
man that level of his masculinity as a
Of course.
patriarch in
Of
your
course.
family, because you're the matriarch,
Mm-hmm.
he's the patriarch. But
Mm-hmm.
there are women who are naturally dominant, but I think that um the energy is strong and a
It
lot of
is.
them don't know how to control that.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's what all this is about. Because for me, okay, I am a Cancer,
Okay.
but my Mars is in Aries in my first house. So
Oh.
yeah.
Ooh, okay, so
So
what is
yeah.
your what is your Venus sign?
Venus, where is my, I'm trying to remember where my Venus is. That's a good question. I'm gonna have to look at my birth chart again.
Yeah, I wonder what your Venus
Because
is. But
it's
yeah, the Aries Mars, that's fine. That's
I know,
yeah.
and I'm a Cancer, so a lot of times I go through this kind of battle back and forth within myself because that Aries
Mhm.
side will kick in where I want
Yeah,
to be combative. I want to be
right.
nope,
Yeah,
it
that
needs to go
Aries, having
my
them,
way.
yeah, that's a strong energy to have your Mars, in Aries, or
Yeah,
that is
in
very
the first house, yeah,
in the
it is.
first house. So it's like that's your whole
Yeah.
right, right, right.
Yes. So, like you said, when you get where you want to be with somebody, you need to
Hmm.
do the compatibility charts. Like, look at your chart, look at his chart. Are y'all compatible? Because you don't want to drive each other crazy,
Mm.
Oh, but if you don't take a look at it,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, my
Mm-hmm.
Mars is in Pisces in the 11th house. My Venus
Okay.
and Mars is both in Pisces in the
No.
11th house. So
Wow.
I can be very delusional. I have in
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
past about
Mm-hmm.
with the Pisces energy about certain aspects. But
Wow.
it took me to go through a traumatic experience in my life
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
to really be able to overshadow that delusion, because
Yes.
that rose colored glasses and kind of looking
Exactly.
up certain things, I've seen that. Now it's not strong because my moon and
Mhm.
my rising is in Taurus, so
Okay.
I have strong earth energy, so
Yes.
I can
Wow.
overshadow that Pisces energy very quick.
That's good.
I'm not, yeah, I don't let nobody, I don't fall for anything.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Yes.
very strong discernment, but
Good.
my Venus and Mars and Pisces allowed me. I have a very strong energy for romance and love
Uh-huh.
and
Yes. Yes.
compassion and being committed. I've always wanted that. I've always wanted, yeah, I've always wanted, I never wanted to, I never had a phase in my life where I said, you know what? I want to be single. I always
See, that's
wanted to,
interesting.
yeah, I
That's
wanted to be
yeah.
a committed woman. That's always been me. I've never wanted to be single.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't connect with that. That's not
That's
for me.
deep. Because you know what's funny? Like for me, my biggest thing was I wanted a lot of children when I was growing up. All I could think is I wanted a lot of children. I wanted a lot of children. And it's
Mm-hmm.
because, trauma in my life, seeing all the breakups. Like my father was married well, he was married and divorced 4 times, and then he died in his fifth marriage. I know that was a lot. So I saw all these breakups, my mother with different men breaking it up, and I'm like, oh, like that's scary to me, But I
Right.
made a commitment. I said, when I get married, I want to just be with one person and that's it. I don't want a divorce. But then after trauma, I'm like, maybe I should be by myself. But
Yeah.
it's like going through, but after I did all the work and all the healing, then I'm like, okay, now I'm back to some common sense that no, I don't want to be by myself. Like, I want us to raise our children and our grandchildren together
Mm-hmm.
but man, trauma don't play. It don't play.
Right.
It can throw you
Mm-hmm.
so far off
It don't matter.
from what your original nature is. And so, people talk about you got to do the shadow
Mm.
work, you got to do your shadow work. Yes, you do. You really do. You got to go deep
Yeah.
within
Yeah,
and
that's
find all
very
your
much so.
traumas and work through that. And if you have a mate who
Mm-hmm.
can work through it with you, it makes it that much better, that much easier to heal. So, yeah.
Yep, I agree. If you have someone that can work with you,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
because I think a lot, I mean, again, we're not all here to do the same thing. You
No,
know,
we're not.
we all here for a different journey, a different assignment.
Hmm.
But
Yes.
it's nothing like being on this journey with someone you can share this with.
Hmm. Hmm.
I can't imagine I don't even want to imagine,
No.
not
Hmm.
having that time with a person that you truly can trust, love, count
Hmm.
on, talk
For real.
to,
For real.
cry on, all that. Like, make love
Yes.
to, you
Yep.
know.
Have a good cry, then make love. Yep.
Yes, and that's another thing with even with that, like
Mhm.
that can be challenging for couples, and you
Yes.
really have to mature into different phases of that too. You really do.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
you have to go in and look for
Hmm.
different ways to enjoy each other when it comes to that.
For real. For
You
real.
know, you be creative and have a good time. That's your lover.
Exactly.
That is your
Exactly. That's
lover.
that's
Have a good
your that's your other half. Like literally,
yeah.
your left and your right. One of you is the left, one's the right. You make a complete being together.
Yep.
Mm,
Yep.
mm, mm.
And find sorry, something scared me. Oh, that was a fly. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah, finding out what they enjoy, and them finding out what you enjoy, and be spicy and do
Mhm.
things that are just monumental to the relationship, to that romance. A
Hey,
lot of people don't even have. A lot of people are not romantic. They have
right.
no sense of what romance is.
Nope, not at all. And even just buying each other little gifts here and there.
There you
Just
there
do
you go.
something.
Especially when you know it's their favorite thing that they like.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
get them a little gift. Let them
Yep.
give you a little gift or their favorite meal. They got
Yep.
their favorite thing that
Exactly.
they
Exactly.
enjoy eating, and
Yes.
just enjoy each other without. Oh, I'm bored with him now. Why? Why are you bored with him?
Yeah. Because you're not
Why
spicing it up. You're not
you-
spicing
Thank
it up.
you. Thank you. Exactly. Why are you
Got
bored
to
with
spice
him?
it up. I know. Exactly.
Yeah, you have
Ooh,
a whole human body that you're in a relationship. You can definitely find some
I
excitement
know.
in
Y'all
that.
can have so much fun.
Fun, right?
Mhm. Yes, that's what it's all about.
That
Creating, being creative, doing different things, exploring different things. Even if you, hey, let's find some park that you ain't never been to. Go to a new park. Go to a new
there you go.
restaurant. Go watch a
That's right.
movie. Do something. You
Do
know?
something very spontaneous
Yeah,
that you don't do regularly. Be
exactly.
spontaneous. That brings a lot. And that is one of the things that I try to do is keep
Yeah.
our relationship spontaneous. We
Yes.
both do. And just
Yeah.
remind each other how important we remind each other every day how important our life is together. We look at
Yes.
these children and we're like, you know what? This is I love you. This is we
Yes.
committed.
Yes. You have to be, especially once you bond. Keep going, keep growing together. Like
Right, right.
set goals that you two are going to accomplish together. You
Mm-hmm.
know, all that stuff keeps
Yeah.
it going.
So I want to go back a little when you, if you don't mind, when
Oh,
you were talking about that in the beginning, when you were
mhm.
saying how soon black, we might not even have a black race.
I know. That's sad.
That
We
is
got
very,
the passport bros. Black men are leaving America.
girl, that is, and I'm not even gonna lie, it triggers me when I see them. It bothers me because it
It,
hurts. It
it
hurts.
does.
I'm transparent enough to tell you, as a black woman, a black
Mhm,
American woman,
mhm.
it hurts. No,
It,
those are not my men.
I
I'm not,
know, but it's our
but
race. It's
it's
our
our
race.
race. It hurts me so hard where it's making me feel
I
it just hardens me. And I'm like, why are we? I feel like I start to question everything
know.
about the existence of black women.
I
And
know.
I'm like, are we not worthy enough? What did we do wrong?
We
I
are
know it's
confused. Hold on one second. Hold
okay.
on. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this passport bro thing. It's sad because in one aspect, I can't blame them. I can't.
Mm,
I'm looking at
mm.
the state of our women. Like, do you ever watch the Kendra G show?
I do, and I stopped.
I
I
know.
did, and I
I
stopped.
know.
It was so bad. I was like, I can't watch this. This is
It,
awful.
it's scary. And like,
Yeah.
Kevin Samuels when he was here, like, oh my god, like really I mean literally we like in the 90s. Remember we were called the black queen, the black goddess, the black this.
Yes.
What happened to women thinking of themselves like that? It's like they
I don't know.
they don't even try to be a goddess. They don't even think it's just like I said, all these likes, all that's all they care about. So they wear these clothes, it's very
Hmm.
revealing. And then the ratchetness.
Oh yeah. That's oh gosh.
Oh my goodness. It's sad. And I'm like, let's really break this down because if we don't make some changes, we are a
Hmm.
distinct race of people because men want wives. They do.
Right.
They want to
Right.
have
Right.
children. They want to have children of their own, and a lot of women, they've already had all these children. And now they're like, well, I don't want no more children. So if a man marries a woman, how's he gonna have his own children? You know?
Mm.
So
Um, my take on the passport bros, I do think some of it is um black women that they have encountered that turned them off. But I
yeah.
think it's something else um with them as well. A lot of them, some of them, not a lot of them, some of them
Some of them.
have a deep hatred for being black.
Yes.
So they want to go procreate with
Mhm.
other races of women to not have anything to not have anything identified as looking like a black woman or a black
Mhm.
boy.
That is interesting because
I do think that I
that's
watch them their behavior. Some of
that
them
shocking.
do love black women. So if they do go, they'll go to Africa or they'll
Yeah,
go
yeah,
to South
yes,
America to Brazil. I respect that. You still want to
yeah,
have a part to
yeah.
something melanated, something, but you just don't want to deal with black American women. Okay, whatever. But then you
Yeah.
have the ones who strictly say, I'm going to Thailand.
Thailand, Filipinos.
Why? What
Yeah.
why? 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 What like And then you'll start to hear them start to call out the aesthetics of Black women, and that hurts.
Yes, it does.
It
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 does.
hurts because women, we struggle with that. The
Mhm.
vanity is hard on Black women.
It is.
Vanity is hard. That's why you have them doing the crazy weaves with the
Blonde hair.
crazy baby
Blonde
hair,
hair.
the
Yeah.
blonde
Blonde
hair, the
hair.
crazy outfits, the butt job, the
Eyelashes things is what.
the crazy snuffleupagus eyelashes. A lot of them getting lip filler and they already got big lips, like
I know.
myself. Like, why would I go get something in my lips?
I
Like,
know.
why are you doing this? So
Yes.
it's because
It's
of vanity.
self-hate. It's self-hate.
It's it's self
Self-hate.
hate, and it's the programming that has been over Black women. It's like a shadow that's
Yeah.
been over Black women, that we're not beautiful.
And see,
And
that's
I
so
think and I think that's played into the subconscious of a lot of men. Not saying that they don't like Black women or they don't love them. I think it's something going on subconsciously
yeah.
with the
So
vanity of how they see Black women
yeah,
too.
yeah. And that is
Because
it's what's
it
sad.
it's sad because me and my husband was watching some show from the 70s, and I've never seen it before. And we was
Uh-huh.
watching it and I was like, okay, it was funny. But then the the woman that she was darker skinned with the more kinkier hair, he told her she
Mhm.
was ugly. You're not attractive. And
See,
she just was plain clothes, just a natural, beautiful,
that's
darker skinned woman. Then he had a woman that was more fair skinned, and he was like, I love you. You're the love of my life. That's not saying that's what he really liked
yeah.
in real life, but the industry played on that.
Yes, of course.
They
Of
they played
course.
on it, and that's not an American thing. That's happening around the world. And I'm hearing
Yes.
stories about colorism in South America,
Yes.
colorism in India,
In Ethiopia and
Africa.
everywhere. Yes.
And it's like it played because men they deal with physical. We know
Mm.
that.
Yes.
They like to see a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been embedded in some of them. This is what beauty is. This is what beauty is. And it's like some of them lost their way, and then women lost their way by playing into it.
Mm-hmm.
They played into the aspect, oh, I gotta have this, I gotta have that to be beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get this big butt. Now they trying to get the butts deflated. Did you
I
know
know.
that? Now they don't even want the
Yes.
big butts no
I
more. They
know.
getting them deflated.
That's crazy. I mean, well, think about all that chemical in your body in the first place. And they don't even know what that stuff is doing to them. So,
Right.
Lord, yeah, they shouldn't have done it in the first place.
They shouldn't have.
No, it's crazy.
And I'm like, how is any man attracted to a silicone butt? That is not natural.
It's
It's
not.
not enjoying. I mean, I don't know. I haven't tried it out to see how it feels, but it just
I
don't look
would
right.
no, it don't look right. And
It
I
just
wouldn't want
don't
that
look
stuff in
right.
my body. I would not want that
Right.
stuff. No, it's crazy. And like I said, when it comes to like certain things like the passport bros,
Mm,
I said it's very disheartening. But it's like, to me, this is what this is all about: is waking women back up to who we
mm.
are, like because we have something very powerful in our blood as Afro American people. We do,
Yeah.
and we are like, it's just like being washed out. It's really
Mm-hmm.
being washed out, and that's what gets me the most. That is literally what
Right.
gets me the most. It's like, who are my children gonna grow up and marry?
Oh, I think about that all the time. I do. I think about that all the time with my daughters. Like, what options will they have if they have any? And
Mm,
I feel, and I do see, that's why I see a lot more women connecting with other women. They're,
yes, that's happening a lot.
a lot.
A
And
lot.
they're creating a romance, commitments with each other,
Mm-hmm.
and they are saying they love each other. And I have no hate with that. It's
There's
something that they have they're connecting with them and they're loving them, but at the same time, not nothing against that. how did we lose our way with the men?
I know. I know. Like,
That is
you
the
know.
thing. Like it's like, do I really if
Hmm.
it's nothing wrong if you enjoy the love and a woman being your lover. I have
Yeah,
no problem with that.
I
But then
know
you
that.
have the women who are want to be have some sense of wanting to be with a man and he's not available. He's
Yeah.
nowhere to be found. And
Like,
I wish these women stopped telling black women to go get white men.
you don't believe it. I know that ran in my family. That's another
Really?
thing. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Not
they would
because I
say
don't think they
that.
should.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
I don't it's
saying
not because I
no.
don't
The
think they
women
should mix.
saying that, teaching the
They
younger
do?
generation. Oh Lord, I was like, I don't believe you just literally. I can't believe you just said that we should be with white men. And I'm like, look at like, oh, why? Mm-mm,
Yeah. And it's
mm-mm.
not no race thing or nothing like that. It's like
It's
you're
not.
promoting a false sense of security
Yeah.
that, oh, the white man can save you. He can be better than the black man. And then you
I'm
go over
telling
there and you
you,
get in these relationships with white men and y'all are culturally dysfunctional.
culturally, just I know for
Y'all
real.
have no cultural and you play and you have people thinking I'm in love with him, but you really don't have a connection.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't. And that's
I
crazy because
know.
I seen a black guy some years ago and he married a white lady.
Hmm.
And he said, I love her so much. He said, but I don't know if I can do this long. And he made like a little series of it. And it wasn't
Really,
because she was a bad person. He said, music. I
the
love hip hop.
cultural differences,
Yeah,
cultural
he said
differences.
there's certain food that I like.
Food
She
is.
don't like it. When I'm going through something that I feel like I'm being profiled at my job or at a store, she's
Hmm.
not comprehending what I'm going
Yeah.
through. He said she's a great person, but she's not understanding the,
Yes.
my
Yeah.
cultural trauma. She doesn't
Yeah.
understand my cultural trauma.
Yeah.
So why do people promote that so heavily for black women
I
when
know.
they're not black women are not being desired by by white men like that. They're
I
not.
know. It's it's sad. It's sad. And the confusion that goes into the minds, like man, like how do you deal with this stuff?
Right.
Mm-mm.
Right. It's interesting. But yeah, the passport bros, they are strengthening in numbers.
It is.
They have a big following.
I know,
And
and
they
it's
coming in
sad.
very young too. That's very interesting.
Oh no. Wow. Yeah. This is, I don't know. Like I said, where do we go from here? How do we fix it? And like, how do we keep our race alive?
Do you think we need to have like a tribal thing with women where we can talk with women? I don't want to be I don't want to be recognized as a mentor, but if we can and help women heal and just talk to them and
Mhm.
promote a sense of love and
Mhm.
self-worth and helping
Yes.
them tap into their spiritual essence
Mhm.
because I
Yes.
feel like it's like a lost cord. It's a broken cord. And
Mhm.
we're not getting that electricity to get it back together. It's
Yes.
like we need to connect. That's
Yes.
why I was saying about when I wrote that about we
Mhm.
connecting with women
Yes.
and
Yes.
having a moral code with each other. That is
Yes.
so important.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
have my moments where, I don't want to deal with women. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to talk to women. I just want to be left alone. Just forget the world. I just want to be left alone. And I do. I honestly can say that I do. But then when I go out into the world,
Yeah.
I look at these women, I'm like, damn, I think I want to go give her a hug. I think
I
she
know,
needs
girl, there's certain ones that's our destiny. And for us to keep denying our destiny, we're gonna
I,
have to pay for that.
I
And
know. I
yeah.
know. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
Hmm.
right.
Hmm. Girl, you
It's like I
shoot.
think with me, I just put myself back into the shadows of like being just kind of close myself off. I see so much and it
Hmm.
can be overwhelming. And I'm like,
It
wow, I
can.
don't,
It can.
but I know I have a purpose to
You
be
yes, girl. I remember way back in the days of Blog Talk. Girl.
no, right? I was on fire on
All
Blog
the
Talk.
way back.
And it's just like I don't know. I
Yeah, it's
just
time to come. It's time come back out, sis.
I know I gotta get. I have
People
to.
need
I
to
really
hear your
do.
voice. They need to hear your wisdom because we
I
need more
know
sisters telling the truth.
we do. I think it's I don't know what it is. I think it's just it's a lot. I think it is dealing with the public
Yeah.
and the scrutiny of the public because once you go into the public eye, you become even if you vibe trying to vibrate at your highest,
Mhm.
if you say something, it's like you can become a target. I know
Yeah.
that's you know what I mean? Like I just want to live a quiet life, but that's
Yeah.
not really what I'm supposed to be
It's
doing.
not.
And
No,
I
it's
know that.
not. It's not.
I know, I know that. I do. I know that I've
Hmm.
been telling my husband, he's like, well, baby, do this and do that. I'm like, yeah. And then I just get into a place where I'm like, I just want to just live a quiet life. I
Yeah,
don't want
but
to deal with that.
so many sisters need to hear what you got to say because this is why we're all
That's
falling
true.
apart. We can't keep that knowledge to ourselves. We can't.
That's
That's
true.
like I said,
That is
doing
so
starting
true.
Grandma's Secrets, it just opened up a whole thing for me. Like, okay, we need
Oh
to talk
my
about
God.
this, we need to talk about that.
Grandma's Secrets is that. It is that. It's got a lot. It's got a lot of things in it that I didn't even think about. Like I didn't.
Wow. That's what I mean. That's what I want to do. And so, especially I want to start doing in these interviews, I want to have one question that I asked you that's part of Grandma's Secrets, but it's I want to know what your response is outside of what Grandma's Secrets response is. So I take like one question, especially out of the dark secrets section, and I ask the questions, hear other people's response to.
Okay.
So one of the subjects in Grandma's Dark Secrets is a woman and her husband. They kind of like split up a little bit. You know, they when it's time apart, they separated. During the time that they were separated, she had sex with somebody that she worked at a job with one time, and she hated herself for it. Where she literally did end up quitting the job, but
Mm.
she was like, should I tell him? We're starting to work it out, trying to get back together. Should I tell him that I slept with somebody when we were separated? How would you answer that question?
Oh wow. That is. Oh God, that's a good one. You just put me on the spot. Um, how would I? Oh
What would you
wow. I
say to
think
the female who's going through this? Because,
yeah. What would I say?
mhm,
Um, I would say if you love that person and you genuinely want to start a new relationship, you need to be honest.
yes,
You
yes,
need to be honest. Don't go in with any secrets because that is just it's gonna backfire.
it
It's
is.
gonna backfire in the end. And go
Mhm,
in honest. Say, I thought it was over. I had a rebound. I
mhm,
left with a coworker. I don't work there anymore.
mhm.
And I wanted you to know. And this is just honest. Just be openly honest with that
Yes,
person, and let
yes.
them decide if they are going to continue to be with you after you did that.
I
They
know.
might not.
Yeah,
They might not. They might
they
decide
might
that
not.
they don't want to pursue it, or they might say, you know what? Well, I did some things too. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it. We can still,
exactly.
yeah, we can still
Exactly.
move forward. That is a very touchy,
Hmm.
um, that's a very touchy subject for a lot of women. And but my opinion, I would say be honest.
Yeah,
Always be truthful.
always transparency.
Yep.
It's like you cannot build a relationship on based off of lies or omissions or things like that because it's always going to tear the house down later.
Always.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a very interesting. I guess my next question was, um, why did you what was the connection? I guess they just with the guy at the job. They just wanted to link up and
Oh, I know. That would be a good question. Like, but you know how some people when they're in a breakup, they're vulnerable and they're
yeah,
like, some people, and then after they've had sex, they're like, "God, why did I do this?
yeah.
So
Yeah, because
yeah,
it's almost like a get back. Like I gotta get this
yeah,
out of me. I feel like I need to
exactly.
get back and you want to sleep with this guy. And then after
Exactly.
you do it, you're like, oh, what was I thinking? But the
Okay.
honesty of coming to that person and you getting back with your spouse, I'm like, I
Yeah,
did that and I apologize. I can
yeah, Yeah.
I respect that.
That's a question that had to be answered. And it's like, 'cause so many women have experienced that, you know? And they're like, do
Mm,
I tell him? Do I tell him? And it's like, I've had to sit women down, like, you have to be honest and you have to
mm-hmm.
risk losing him. You have to risk losing him. But
Ooh,
most of the
ooh.
time, risking losing him is what makes the bond stronger because
Mm,
you are honest enough to tell the truth in a situation like that. Like,
right.
I'm happy I've never
Yeah.
experienced it, but just
Yeah,
by
I've never,
no, I didn't know. I never
no.
experienced it, but I do know just from studying human psychology and studying, basically the right thing to do. The
Right.
right
That's
thing to do
true.
is to tell. So, well, yeah, that's yeah. So having
What do you
to
think is the biggest thing where it's so hard for people to just do the right thing?
shame, their pride, fear,
Mm-hmm.
shame and fear, pride, all them three, they're top. They're way up there. Like, they don't want to be, they don't want to be embarrassed. They don't
Mm,
want to be left. They don't want nobody breaking up with them. Stuff like that. People,
right.
yeah, it's you gotta be honest. You do. No matter what.
Mm,
I don't
wow.
know. It's crazy. Ooh,
Wow.
because sometimes when people find out the hard way, like they find out their spouse was cheating, I literally have experience. We were living in an apartment complex, and I was sitting there talking to my friend on the phone, and I heard gunshots, and I'm like, what?
Mm,
Yeah, the husband found out his wife was cheating. He shot the two children first.
mm,
Then she went running. He went and chased her. She's banging on people's door. He shot her right in front of somebody's door because they wasn't opening the door.
mm.
He shot her right there and then shot himself. I'm like,
Wow.
don't play with people's lives like that. Don't play
Right.
with people's mental. No, you don't play with people like that. Mm-mm. And like you said
Yeah.
earlier, if you feel like you got to go and have sex with somebody else, be honest or say, hey, I need some time alone to get this out of me. Don't play with people's lives. Don't do that. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
That murder, suicide, and all that. No way. Don't play with them.
Yes, I was just going to say black femicide is really on the rise right now in America.
Mm.
Some murder suicides between black
Yes.
men and black women. I do think some of them are not being honest, like we talking about the over
Mm-hmm.
honesty. And I also think some of them has been, okay, I need space. I just need to be by
Yes.
myself. Some people don't accept rejection.
Mm-mm.
And and again, when you talked about being lonely or
Yeah.
the possession, because that's
Mm-hmm.
another thing. People have this possession over you, so they feel
Yes.
like they own you. So
Yes.
when you need some space or you need some time, and you tell them I don't want it, then they feel a sense of insecurity. So then
Yes.
they're watching you, and then now they say, "Well, who are you talking
Mhm.
to? What are you
Yep.
doing?" And you say,
Exactly.
"Look, I'm not doing anything. I just need space.
Mm-hmm.
I just need time with these kids. I just need to." And the next thing you know, they come and then they kill you,
I
maybe
know.
the kids too, and then they kill themselves. And this happened a lot with black
It
men and black
does.
women
It
because of
does.
the emotional trauma that they have that they can't communicate,
I
and
know.
and that possession of a
Mm-hmm.
person, having
Mm-hmm.
that thing that you feel like you have possession over
I
someone.
know.
So
No.
then when they just need time, you feeling like you've lost something and you
Yeah.
trying to get it back. So the only way you can get it
Mm-hmm.
back is by killing them.
See, that mess is crazy. It's crazy. And see, that's another thing when people don't first take out the time to get to know a person and find out what their
Right.
traumas are before you just jump into
There
this
you go.
relationship. And now you with somebody who's possessive, somebody who is mentally unstable, who
Mm,
already has probably thought about suicide before, and you didn't take the
mm.
time to find out this ahead of time. You'll find yourself in a world of some stuff.
And you know what? And I agree. And a lot of times they see all this before they get with them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the
They
need
ignore
of
it.
not wanting to be alone.
Yep.
So you go ahead and you submit to those red
Yep.
flags.
Mm-hmm.
And now you seen the crazy in this person. You've seen it
Yes.
in their eyes. You probably crazy too. So
Of
yeah,
course.
a lot of crazy people be connecting.
Yeah,
So,
well,
and
you got to
then
be crazy in the first place to get with somebody that you're already there. To ignore the sign, when you ignore the signs, you're already crazy. You
when you
are.
ignore the signs, you are crazy.
Mm-hmm,
You're out of
mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
you you are absolutely correct. So I think that a lot of women ignore the signs and it be right there. And a lot of women do not use their intuition properly.
No.
They go against it.
No,
They
because
go against
other
it.
other
How do you
feelings,
go against your
other feelings
power?
take over. Other feelings take over. Like, you know,
Yeah.
maybe he's good in bed, so she'll ignore that stuff. Or maybe he got a lot of money and he spends money on her, so she'll ignore that.
Mm,
It no, we gotta take life serious. For real.
right, absolutely. I also want to touch on how food is affecting Black women more than it's the food industry, how it's
Mm-hmm.
affecting Black women more than it's
Exactly.
affecting anybody.
It
The
is.
food that's in these supermarkets is destroying every aspect of Black women.
It
Black
is.
men too. The Black
It is.
family is it is so toxic and
It
poisonous. Just think
is.
how it does the body of the children,
Yep.
the
I know.
mind,
Girls are
and
starting
every
menstruals at 9 years old now.
they starting them at nine, eight.
9 years.
You
What?
used to rarely hear that, but it's
I
and they're
know.
having full breasts,
I know.
full plump breasts at 9.
It's all them hormones that's in that food.
It's in the food, and somebody's in old folks used to say, "Who tampering with that child?" It's nobody
Mm.
tampering with that
It's
child. It's in
McDonald's. McDonald's now.
McDonald's. McDonald's. There you go. McDonald's is
Uh-huh.
tampering with that child.
For real.
Absolutely.
For
But I
real.
think that is the food has been playing a very aspect on our
Mhm.
mental health,
It is.
our weight management,
Mm-hmm.
everything. Like it is really taking a toll on us, just in even having
Mm-hmm.
digestive
For
issues,
real.
anxiety,
Cholesterol going through the roof.
cholesterol. I've talked to Black women who are small. I mean,
Mhm.
they're not voluptuous and nothing like that. And they tell me they got cholesterol issues. And I'm
Yeah.
looking at them like, for real?
Yeah. It's the food. It is
It's the
literally the
food.
food.
And they said, I'm doing everything I can. I'm doing everything I need to do. I'm
Mm-hmm.
taking different herbs. I'm cutting back from
Yep.
salt, but it's in the
Mm.
food that's causing.
It's
And then
in
they
the
say,
food.
oh, don't eat this, don't eat that. And you're trying to minimize certain things that you're eating and what you're doing. Then you go to the
Exactly.
doctor and your blood pressure's still up.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Like you said,
Exactly.
cholesterol, your
Exactly.
hormones are all out of whack.
Yep. And it's crazy because like I tell people all the time, don't buy your meat from Walmart. I'm sorry.
Oh, girl, I don't mess with Walmart's meat. You better say that.
Don't
Let's put that on the
don't buy
record.
your
I don't
meat.
mess with
Oh,
Walmart. I don't
oh
mess with
my
Walmart's
goodness.
meat.
If you can find a good meat market near you, go to the meat market because like when we lived in Washington, we would drive
Uh-huh.
an hour to this meat market because everything was off of a farm or somebody just went up on a mountain and shot like a goose. I mean like a moose or
Right.
elk or deer and they bring it down and they take it straight to the market and the butcher, they cut it up right there. Everything's
Mm-hmm.
fresh. And it's like when you go in Walmart, okay. Walmart is the lowest of the low. And it's funny because my father used to drive trucks for grocery stores. And so
Okay.
he taught me that all grocery stuff is done on an auction. They auction it.
Mm.
Yeah, grocery stores buy food on an auction. And so like, the top expensive like QFC, the Whole Foods, all of them, they get first pick because they pay. Then, like, okay, so Walmart's just the bottom. They're like, after everybody else done bought the good stuff, what's left over is what Walmart buys.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah.
They take the
And,
scraps.
and Aldi's does too. All these places that are like, cheap, like you go there, they get what's left over after all the auctions. So just know that.
Wow. Wow. That is very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we don't have a lot of butcher spots like that here. Not a lot. What about where you at now? Do y'all have them?
well, yeah, it's crazy because in Washington. like I said, I had the best one up there, and I'm like, "Ooh, I'm moving to Texas. I know there's gonna be some good butcher down there," and there's not. There's
And you
not.
would think because
I
you have the best,
know.
especially red meat, you be able to find, should be able to find the best of the best of that.
No, I done been to so many meat markets. It made me. We literally called back up to Washington. It was like, "Hey, can you guys ship stuff? We'll buy it."
Right.
And Keisha
Keep
was
it on
like,
ice.
"Sorry, we don't do that." I was like, "Dang it."
Wow.
Yeah, so just fine. Like now, I mainly get like most of my meats from like Costco and Sam's.
Yeah, I do Sam's. Yeah.
Sam's. I don't know why I don't like their chicken, but Costco's chicken I really like.
Okay.
Um, but like I go to Sam's for like my oxtails
Yeah.
and my
Yeah.
leg of lamb, stuff like that. But don't buy it. I promise you, you'll notice the difference if
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
buy it from Walmart.
Mm-mm. I don't mess with Walmart's meats at all. I just, it's
Yeah.
just, it just look. And then, my stepdad, he was a butcher, and
Oh,
yeah, he was a butcher, and what, but he had ended up went and working for Walmart in the meat department.
oh wow.
He said that he hated it because he's used to butchering meat. When he
Yeah.
worked at what we have here is a food, it's called Food Line.
Uh-huh.
So he said, he told my mom, he said, do not, I'm not bringing no food home from, no meats home from Walmart. He said, because all that stuff come in prepackaged.
Mhm.
He said, I feel lost. He said, I feel lost because I'm used to butchering the meat myself and
Yes.
packaging and putting it out on the display. He said,
Mm-hmm.
but now I'm just, it's already packaged when it come in. I'm just putting it on the display. You don't know where that stuff been sitting at.
No, you don't know how old it is. You don't know nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. No, don't buy meat from Walmart.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Um, what do you think about the women who are saying they having a lot of mental health issues?
Oh my goodness,
The mental health that's on the rise.
there's so many things. I mean, like you said, the food. There's stuff in our water. There's stuff in the air.
Mm,
There's so many places that it's coming from. But when women, another thing that causes women to be mentally like unstable is being with man after man after man. Because like you talk about,
mm,
all that
mm.
the different DNAs is going in her body and is fighting with each other. Then all the spirits that come with the man is all fighting with each other. You're gonna go crazy.
You're gonna
So
go crazy. Yeah.
promiscuity plays a big part in it.
Mm,
Big part.
mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Wow. Yeah. It
Yeah.
does.
That makes sense. How can you be promiscuous but claim to be at peace?
You can. That's
That don't
impossible.
even make sense.
That's impossible because you got so much, all this outside energy coming in there, like all of it, and it's all fighting. It's all like, you cannot have peace with all the
Mm,
different energies. You can't.
right.
Mm. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's many things like as women we gotta think about and keeping ourselves pure and keeping
Mm,
ourselves and you gotta hear this this analogy. This analogy is really deep. Women are born at the top of the mountain and they can stay there by keeping themselves pure and holy. Men are born at the bottom of the mountain and have to climb to the top. They have to climb with
mm.
their manhood. They have to climb to be a provider, climb to be like, what a good man's about. But women are literally born in a state of purity. And it's up to
That is not.
her to keep it.
Yeah.
It's up to her to keep
Wow.
it.
Wow.
Mhm. Yeah. And it's none of see these things. If girls are taught this at a young age, they'll think about it because every time a girl has like sex with a boy, she drops down. Has
She
sex with
drops
another boy,
down.
she
She
drops
going,
down.
yeah,
Drop down.
yeah.
That's what's causing the mental instability. And it's the stuff that we need to be teaching our daughters. We need to be teaching them because if they don't know, they're gonna do whatever they see on TV. They're gonna do whatever the girls at school are talking about. They're gonna get that peer
Right.
pressure. Or this boy just said, "Oh, you're so cute." Now she's like, "Oh, really? Oh, I'll do whatever you say. You just said I'm cute." No,
Mhm.
we gotta teach them. And it is important that we're telling our daughters at a young age, "Girl, you are so beautiful. Because
Absolutely.
if they get used to hearing it, it ain't gonna just shock them when some little boy comes
With
along and
some
says,
random,
"Hey,
yeah,
she hears
right.
it all the time. That's normal to her." But girls who
Yes,
don't hear it, oh, it messes with their brains the first time they hear it.
it
So
does.
yeah, you better tell your daughters all the time, you are so beautiful. Baby, look at you. Talk
Hmm.
to them and train them about being pure, about who they are. And girl, you're gonna be a mother one day, and you're gonna be a wife, you're gonna be a mother, and this is
Mm,
how women should be, and just teach them. Teach them, because
right.
they don't know. If they don't know, they're gonna make a lot of mistakes.
They're gonna make a lot of mistakes. Absolutely. That is so true. And I do that, and I definitely do that with my daughters. I tell them every day. And they get to the point where they say, Mom, you're so beautiful. They'll wake girl, I could look like a monster in the morning. They'll come in, I be looking like a monster in the morning. They'll come in there and they say, Mom, we love you. And they
Yeah.
hug me. And it just fills my soul
Yeah.
because it's just so innocent and lovable. And
It
I
is.
just keep reminding them, you're smart, you're beautiful, you got
Yeah.
this, what do you want to do? You want to, where you see yourself? I have these conversations, even with
Yeah.
my little 6 year old. I talk to her, what do you like? And she
Uh-huh.
loves her babies. I said, oh, you're going to be a great mom when you grow up. You're going to
Yeah.
be so sweet.
I know.
And it's just amazing to instill that. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Just to keep putting that love into them and not be jealous of your daughters.
Ah, ah, I can't
Please.
believe it.
Because, oh, this is
There's
making me
some
emotional.
women
Oh,
who
excuse
I
me.
know. I know. I know.
Because my daughters are me. They're part
I
of me.
know.
So even if something happens and we grow up and I mean
Mhm.
they grow up and something
Yeah.
happens where there's a disconnect, I don't know what the future
I know.
holds. I hope that never
Oh,
happens.
oh my goodness.
But I don't ever want to be in a position where I am
Yes.
jealous of my daughter.
I know. That's
You,
like, how can you be
that
jealous of
is,
your daughter?
oh, oof,
But it happens so
it
much.
does.
It
And
happens.
it got me uncomfortable, like emotional, because I look at my daughters and I'm like, how could I be jealous of two beautiful girls
I know.
who come out
Oh,
of my womb
oh,
and
oh,
they
oh,
are the
oh.
creation of me and their
Mm.
father.
I
I love
know.
them. And
Hmm.
everything that I didn't do right in my life,
I
I'm
know.
going to instill that greatness in them so
Yes,
they can go
yes.
beyond whatever I didn't do. So how
Oh
can
my
I be
goodness.
jealous of my beautiful girls?
But I know. But I see it
Women
all
are
the
out here in
time
competition with their
with
daughters,
their dog. Oh my goodness.
jealous of their daughters. It's
See,
sickening.
it's
It's
it,
sick.
it's
It's sickening.
it is. It
It just got me
is.
overwhelmed because I see women doing it. I even see women living through their daughters. I'm seeing these little girls that are 13, my daughter's age, 12 and 13. They got lace fronts, they
Ugh,
got crop tops, they got
that is so
twin,
sad.
they
That
got
is
and then I hear women say, "Well, I want them to. They can dress up and have makeup, and
no.
that's fine if they want to put on a little play stuff. But
Yeah.
when you're putting them on social media and exposing them, there's somebody watching them.
I saw a 5-year-old on social media like that. She had the lace front. She had on grown woman's clothes. Like this girl,
Right,
I was like, is she prepping her to be on a pole? What's she doing?
right.
No, you don't put no, no, no. I'm
It
like,
just it
no. Like that child gonna end up on a pole. She's already starting at 5 years old and teaching these little girls how to twerk and putting it on social media.
and then they say, well, if somebody's looking at that, then that if somebody's looking at that inappropriate, then they're the problem. No, you're the problem because
Yes.
you're putting this out there.
Yeah. You know
You
the
are
state of the world.
creating
You know how sick
energy.
this world is.
Thank you. You're supposed to be protecting your babies.
Mm-mm. Having little girls twerk is gonna another thing that's gonna make them develop faster. Their
Yes.
bodies will start developing. They're gonna start wanting to have sex because they've been gyrating their hips like they having sex since 5 years
Because
old.
twerking is a sexual
It
energy.
it is. It
Twerking is a sexual energy.
mm-hmm.
So any type of movement like that, you're creating that energy around your child. So
Exactly.
what do you expect to what do you expect them to do when, like you said, they're interested in sex.
I know.
They're in, they're interested in boys. They're interested in whatever they're interested,
Whatever.
especially in inappropriate at their
It,
age.
yes, very,
You
very,
know,
very.
so it's just like,
Mm-mm. Then they, all they got to do is start doing that and then watch a little couple R-rated movies. Because, a lot
there
of
you
parents
go.
don't care. They don't care about their children seeing R-rated movie. And their brains just start, all them hormones start going through their bodies. And everybody wondering, why are they getting pregnant so young? Well, you didn't teach them that. You taught them how to twerk and how to put on makeup, fake nails, fake eyelashes. This is the problem.
Right.
This is a problem. You taught them to want to get attention. And so
Mhm.
that's what they're going to do. They're going to seek attention any and everywhere they can get it.
That is so true.
It drives me
That
crazy.
it does. It does. But yeah, this
Mm,
the mother daughter relationship is it's very critical. It's
it
very
is.
critical.
It is. It is. And
It is.
that's why we got to start teaching them young about who they are and their beauty, their inner beauty, their outer beauty, and how to keep
Yeah.
it. How to
How
keep,
to keep
don't
it.
let people take advantage of them. Don't let any boy just be running up
Yeah.
in their sacred wombs. Like, that's your sacred womb. You don't just give that away.
You don't
People
give that
treat
away.
people treat inanimate objects better than they treat their own bodies. And it's sad.
Mm.
It's so
Mm.
sad. Like people will be like, they won't let somebody drive their car, but they'll let them up in their wombs.
Makes no sense.
I know.
It
Like,
makes no sense. Oh, you can't drive my car, but we can have sex. Huh?
exactly.
What do you mean?
Exactly.
Okay, so your car is more valuable
More
than your
valuable. Exactly.
makes no sense.
It don't.
It makes yeah, you're right.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
women have just they just laid their flower out there to just be trampled all over. It's like that is your sacred portal.
It is.
Do you know the science behind that? If
Obviously
I
not, or they wouldn't be doing what they're doing.
they wouldn't be doing that's true. That's true. And I think about that even with myself as a young teen mom. And I'm like,
Mhm.
wow,
I
I was
know.
a teen, I
I
was a
was
teen,
too.
I was a teen mom. And I'm not ashamed. I'm like, I was
I
a teen
was
mom,
too.
but I was a teen mom. And I
Nobody
promised
told
myself,
me. Nobody taught me anything. Nobody taught me anything. And it's like, my father raised me, probably from the time I turned 12 to when I
mhm,
graduated. And my father literally told me, you shouldn't be a virgin when you get married. And I'm
what does that
like,
mean?
hey, sow your wild oats before you get married. It's,
Wow.
I know, because he had been with a virgin and my mother, and I guess, you know,
Okay.
she hurt him so bad that he's like, "Don't be a virgin. Sow your wild oats."
Oh, I
So
see. Yeah.
yeah, and so like he was talking about, the passport men have been like, they've been traumatized by women, and so now they're like, well, I don't want to be with. I mean, I see that. I see it in my family that some of the men in my family will never deal with another black woman again because they got so
Mm,
hurt by one, and I'm like, ah, yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, this mess is crazy, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop.
But what makes it I wonder what makes it more hurtful. I mean, I'm sure it's because it's your race or when a
Mhm.
black woman hurts, but if they get into another woman from another race, does it hurt when they hurt you? I never hear those stories. I always hear about the black woman hurting them.
Mm,
Like it really
that's
devastates
deep.
them.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
why is
deep.
it okay for this other woman to do all these negative things to you
Hmm.
and hurt you, and you're not at a sense of peace, but you had an experience one or two, and you're over black women? Why
Just
is it
done.
that
Just completely done.
you just done? You just gave up. You didn't even give your time enough to really. There are probably 10 billion people or more on this planet. I'm
I know.
sure
I know.
it's more than what
Yes.
we really know.
Yeah, of course. Dang, that's
There
deep.
are black people all over this globe from,
Yes.
and you gave completely up.
Just gave
How?
up. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh,
That just
wow. That's some
just
deep
give
stuff.
up. And
Mhm.
black women have experienced some of the same traumas, but they haven't. Some of them haven't gave up. I
No.
know black. I know black women right now say, "I want a black man. I don't care. I just want to have.
Yep.
I love me a black man.
Yep.
I'm willing to put up with
Mhm.
this. I'm willing to put up with that." They're not willing
Mhm.
to just give it up. They're not.
No, that's deep. Huh. I didn't think about that. But it's
Yeah, it's
true.
like why?
It's
How?
true. You know what's so crazy? Like they're trying to teach black women to devalue the black man. Like, oh, black men ain't this, black men ain't that.
Right.
But do you know that in like what is it? In Japan, they're
Mm-hmm.
paying black men 70 something
I,
thousand dollars to come over
mm-hmm.
there and make babies. Are you for real?
That's because the DNA of the black man
Yeah,
creates men who are very athletic, men who are very
exactly.
intelligent. The gene is
Exactly.
strong. And a lot
Why?
of them are not able to carry babies anymore. A lot of the Asian
Exactly.
women, they're not able to carry babies. White
Exactly.
women are having issues carrying babies. Not saying this is a race thing. It's
It's
just this.
not. But
These are reports
this
that's
is
being reported
yes, I
that they
know.
having
This
trouble with.
science. This is science.
This is
It's
science. Yes.
reality. This is what's really happening. And it's like, why do they want us to devalue our men, but then they'll go and pay them $70,000? So obviously they value them, but they don't want us to value them. It's crazy. It's
So it's
crazy.
like it's like a created
It is.
energy that was
It
put
is.
on like a spell.
It is. That's what I be thinking. I'm like,
It's
this
a
is a spell.
spell.
This
It's
is a
gotta be.
spell. Yeah.
It's a
It is.
strong one too.
It is. It is.
It's a spell. That's deep. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's a spell. I really
It
do.
is. It is. It is. Because I'm like, when did we just turn on our men and women talk about, oh my goodness, this woman just did a video. She's holding her black son and put a rainbow t-shirt on her. This baby had to be, he ain't even a month old, talking about he's
Mm,
gay. He's gay. She's like, please be gay. You're gay, aren't you? And black women have got this agenda like if they have a black son to get back at the
hmm
black man, they're going to turn their son gay. Or
Wow.
some of them are like, if I find out I'm having a son, they're gonna have an abortion. And it's like, what is going on? Oh my goodness. Like I said, girl, we can sit up here and talk
And a
all
certain
night.
and then I know it's a certain YouTuber, I'm not gonna mention her name, but when
Uh-huh.
she was saying abort black if you
Yes,
abort black male babies.
I know. They're teaching that, and it's like,
I was
where did she
like,
get that in her head? Where did she get that from? Telling them, but then, oh, Japan's paying them. Like, where are we getting this stuff from? Where are we? That I don't get it. Every country is like begging black men to come to their country, and black women talk
mm,
about go on in. We don't want you. Like you're stupid. You are really killing. You're killing off your whole race, and
right.
not even thinking about it.
Do you believe in this abortion statistics that they have on black women? Do you think that's real numbers? Do you think that's real?
Right? Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I
I
don't.
don't either. I
There's
don't.
too there's
I
too
don't.
many black babies being born. So
You better. I'm like, I know a lot of scary people. They just not going to abortion clinic.
I
Nobody's
know.
just doing that.
I know.
But then I found out that I heard someone say, and I didn't know this, and maybe you might have heard this, that a lot of the abortions that they are documenting is not abortions that are women are that it's not abortions that women are coming in
Mm-hmm.
choosing to have.
Uh-huh.
It's because of medical reasons
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they have to do
Doctors,
it like
and doctors, I know this one lady, she was in her 40s when she got pregnant. And the
mm,
doctors, it's a sister, her and her husband, she got pregnant. They went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, well, ma'am, your baby's gonna be born with all these birth defects. And they was like trying to show her in the
mm,
blood work and show her in her ultrasound. And it was like
mm,
it'd be very bad, it'd be the best thing if you would terminate this pregnancy. And she said, well, I need to pray on that. And she prayed and she prayed. And she said, God told her, do not terminate their pregnancy. That baby came out
mm.
with not one issue. That baby didn't have not one,
Wow.
no issue in the world. These doctors, I'm gonna tell you what this doctor did to me. When I was pregnant with my third child, I went to the same doctor I had gone to, and my doctor wasn't there. Her head nurse was there. And she said, "You need to stop having babies. You can't just keep having babies back to back to back." She was going off on me, right? She said,
Mm-hmm.
"I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write you this prescription for some prenatal vitamins. I want you to come back in 2 weeks and we'll see if you're still pregnant."
That was an abortion pill.
Yes, it was. Girl,
They
I took
been
that.
had
I
those.
took
They
that
been had
prescription.
them.
Girl, that was way back in what, 1994, 95? Girl, I took
Mm-hmm.
that prescription and threw it in the garbage, and I
Exactly.
never went back there again. But
Wow.
there's been an agenda to get rid of us for a long
For a
time.
very long time. Yes.
And
And I
this is
think that they are promoting that Black women are just going and get abortions. I
no, they're
find
not.
that hard to believe.
I do too.
I
There's
really
too
do. I
many.
don't think that they're doing that.
They're not. There's too many of them with too many baby daddies. Just saying that they're
That
getting.
that was the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, it's too many women with babies with no dads around.
I
And
know. I
y'all
know.
said Black women have the highest
Mm-mm,
abortion
no,
rate over
no,
other women.
I don't think
I
so.
I highly doubt that.
Yeah,
Even
for real.
it's a lot of Black women who can't even afford to get an abortion. They
I
can't even
know.
pay the
I know.
money to go to an abortion clinic.
Ain't that crazy?
So
Ain't that
how are
crazy?
they getting abortions? They can't come up with the money to go get one.
Nope. Nope. Not at all. See? Mm-hmm.
So it's an agenda to push like we are so negative and we're getting ready to, and now you
Yes.
got the men are like, they get rid of Black babies. I don't want to be with her. She might abort
Mm,
my child.
yeah, I know. It's
So
girl.
it makes women look, Black women look like we're ready to abort a man's baby, that we don't love
Yeah, no.
children, and
Yeah.
you know,
It's
we make
true.
poor decisions in life and we keep going to abortion clinics and
No, no, it's not. The numbers are not adding up. There are some that are doing that, but it's not like what they're saying. It's not. So yeah. Well, so we've been out here for 2 hours.
oh wow. Well,
So,
I enjoyed it.
I
Yeah.
did too. We gotta have to do this again because
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
wow, this
Yeah.
everything that we just talked about has been stuff that's been like in me. Like I just be like, ah. Sometimes I'll be like, feel like my head's just going because it's
Right.
stress. It's stressful. It's like none of this is making any sense, and I want to see change.
I do too. I want to
Yeah.
see change. And I absolutely agree with you that
Yes.
we are in a time that we have to put our voices out there, our faces
Hmm.
out there, even if
Yes.
we
This is
didn't
what we're
want
doing.
to. And if
Yeah.
we hid behind the shadows, we have to get out there
We're going
and
to.
be more vocal about our power.
Yep. That's
And
what this is
and
all
and
about.
and that's what, and our power is not to control anybody. I'm not trying to recruit anybody,
Yeah.
but just to share our love and our gifts with other women
Mm-hmm.
so we can be able to bond and be able to move
Yes.
with this great shift that we're going into,
Yes.
because it's a powerful
Yes.
one.
That's what I
This
said,
world,
sis. It's time for you to get back out here.
I know, I am. Thank you. I needed this because I really do. I just really be to
Yeah.
myself, but I
Yeah.
really did need this.
Yes. So thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you. And
you.
like I said, we gotta do this again.
We will. We definitely will.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks. And thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you again. Peace.